I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love.
I heard this Jim Carrey quote the other day, and it's stuck with me ever since. Because, as some of you may or may not know, in the US and all across the world, major companies like Amazon's, Microsoft's, Google's, and so on have been laying off hundreds, if not thousands, of employees. The company I work at for my day job was also one of those companies. And in the short time I've worked here, less than a year, I've already seen and experienced different teams getting let go, but whenever it happened, it never felt quite real because they were just names, teams you heard of. You didn't know the people, didn't know what they looked like, what their personalities were, didn't get to sit with them, be with them. And all you can do in those instances is demonstrate empathy and try your best to move on. But this time around, members of my immediate team, people who I literally interviewed with, people who welcomed me when I first joined, people who I've spent quite a fair bit of time with, including, I kid you not, my own direct manager, were let go. And this time, it felt so much more real because it was people in your room, your own, and apart from the degree of survivor's guilt that you're left with, call it me being a naive 23-year-old who's just starting to really see and understand what corporate life is about, I was beyond frustrated by just the lack of, I guess, humanity is the best way to put it, in terms of how these people were treated. I mean, my manager was on paternity leave. Another individual I worked with was on maternity leave. All in the name of, what did they say? Restructuring of our expenses. These positions were terminated, or rather deemed redundant. Well, were these people's livelihoods, their families, also redundant? When this happened a few weeks ago, I thought back to my first job and an email that I saw but wasn't supposed to be aware of, that my group head had sent, in which he said, "Our analyst and associate pool is a precious resource. We will all be feeling the pain if we mess it up." I was looking for a journal entry to capture the thoughts and feelings I was having when I first came across this email. I couldn't find one, but I do vividly remember seeing it and not even being upset, really, because it more or less directly confirmed what I already knew, and what many of us already know, that we're just a resource, a body, a number that can be cut in the name of expense restructuring. And in that sense, we just choose to not actively acknowledge it for our own sake, our own well-being, our ability to function. And I suppose that's where my naivety really shines through, is that I thought things would be different, especially going from a bank where the foundation is literally principled on money. But so is every other company, right? And in that sense, when I think about the people I worked with, people who are let go, you can give everything, more than they deserve, and still be let go, still fail. I mean, I'll be the one to say it. My manager, he worked way harder than I did. Showed up earlier, made himself available later, responded faster, you name it. A company man. Yet he, like so many other people, can give years, decades even, of their livelihood away and still be let go. Giving away time with family, friends, neglecting their own interests, health, and well-being, neglecting their own dreams to build someone else's. That's why the quote at the very beginning of the video has resonated and stuck with me. Because from a young age, we are led to believe by parents, teachers, society, the people around us, whoever, that our dreams should be avoided because of the uncertainty and the risk that they supposedly carry. And instead, we should pursue these stable jobs that provide stability and certainty and safety through a bi-weekly paycheck, when in reality, none of that's true. You can still be let go at a moment's notice through an email or a call with no emotion behind it, in the name of expense restructuring or redundancies. And for what? For what? We work these jobs that bring us no meaning or fulfillment, that don't bring us genuine joy or excitement, for safety and certainty that isn't guaranteed. And when all comes crashing down, all we're left with is a life we don't want. So if that's the case, why not give everything and anything to something you love? To know that your time, your energy, your most precious resources went towards something that matters to you, that isn't just a number, a dollar, or percentage sign in the eyes of someone else, but it matters to you and who you are. And that may not mean diving in head first from the get-go. I didn't, and I honestly wouldn't recommend that either. But what it does mean is making the necessary adjustments, the necessary exchanges in your life to start building that dream, to nurture it, to not just create but make the time outside of your day job, and make that distinction. It's your day job to work on what you love. And yes, that may mean waking up an hour earlier. It may mean working on your project, whatever it may be, instead of watching Netflix after a long day of working at your day job. It may mean going out one less time per week. Just one less time. Didn't say you don't have to go out at all. Because that time adds up. The love you nurture your dreams with, it adds up, and it doesn't just add up, it compounds over time. So when I think about my own life, where and who I was quite literally a year ago, weeks before I would quit that first job where I was part of a resource pool, when I was looking forward to creating a life to have more space to do what I love, to sit here and talk to you, my life has changed forever. It really has. And to those of you out there, or other people that you may know who are like this, who may scoff or doubt what I or others have to say when it comes to dreams and all of this, to that I say, you scoff and doubt yourself. I don't believe anyone is born with self-doubt or an inability to believe, an inability to dream. And with that, you also have an opportunity to do the exact opposite, right? To eliminate self-doubt, to cultivate an ability to believe, to remember how to dream. And it all starts by choosing love. My manager and so many people that were and weren't directly impacted by these layoffs, just plainly speaking, have more responsibility than maybe you or I do. They've got families, mortgages, you name it. There's more risk associated with their decisions because they have more we're counting on them. And they've already built a life in which work has to squeeze itself into. And while I speak generally, for those of you who are in your 20s, the earlier parts of your career, if you have less responsibility, take more risk. Take a chance. Those jobs that are not meaningful or fulfilling to you, that don't bring you joy or excitement, they will always be there. They're waiting for you to come back if you choose. There will always be a company, someone looking to hire someone who's willing to work. But the time, the energy, the opportunity to work on what you love may not be. And is it really a risk when you've got yourself? Because who else would you want at your side but you? So, why not take a chance on your dreams? And not just your dreams, but yourself. And build a life around what you love, not what you don't.